At the very beginning of creation, when the world was just beginning to emerge from the primordial chaos, the mighty Gaia, the great Earth, appeared. She became the basis of all that exists, the solid foundation of the future cosmos. But the Earth could not remain alone. Through her own power, Gaia gave birth to Pontus, the ancient sea. He was not a god of sailors or storms like the future sea deities. Pontus was the very embodiment of the primordial waters that had surrounded the world since the dawn of time. His waves had not yet known ships, and his shores had not yet seen human settlements. It existed long before the appearance of mortals and even before the birth of most of the gods. Thus, in the young cosmos, one of the most ancient forces of nature arose, the boundless sea, which became an inseparable part of the world. Unlike many other primordial gods, Pontus had no father. Ancient myths recounted that Gaia gave birth to him on her own, without uniting with another force. This underscored his special place among the first deities. If Gaia herself was the earth, then Pontus became the watery abyss that embraced her shores. Together, they formed one of the foundations of the universe. The ancient Greeks saw in this a symbol of balance between land and sea. Pontus was neither warlike nor power-hungry. He did not seek to rule over the other gods. His power lay elsewhere, in the grandeur of the boundless waters, which could be calm and gentle or fierce and unpredictable. That is precisely why he was revered as one of the fundamental forces of nature. In those distant times, the world had not yet been divided into separate seas and oceans. All the waters formed a single vast realm called Pontus. Its waves stretched to the very horizon, and its depths concealed mysteries unknown even to the young gods. There were no ports, islands, or sea routes. Only the boundless element of water moved beneath the sky, setting the rhythm of the new world. Ancient poets described Pontus as a silent yet mighty force that required neither a throne nor weapons. The waters themselves were his power. He became the living embodiment of the sea, an element capable of bestowing life, nourishing future nations, and at the same time reminding them of its boundless might. In the days of ancient gods, voivodes, and kings, the long-suffering land awaited a hero. And then came the mighty demiurge Tales channel, tempered in the flames of battle. Power, passion, danger. His videos will change the world. Although Pontus was born of Gaia, a sacred union eventually arose between the ancient sea and the great earth. From this union, a new generation of mighty sea deities was born. Thus, the world began to be filled with forces that governed various aspects of the ocean. The ancient Greeks saw this as the natural order. New life arose from the union of land and water. Pontus became not only the primordial sea, but also the forefather of many creatures that would later inhabit the ocean depths. His lineage was destined to play an important role in the future history of the cosmos. Nereus became Pontus's first and most famous son. Unlike many gods, Nereus was wise, just, and peace-loving. He was called the Old Man of the Sea, for he knew the secrets of the ocean and could foresee the future. From his father, he inherited a connection to the sea, but not its harsh grandeur. Through Nereus, Pontus's legacy began to spread among subsequent generations of sea deities. Thus, the primordial sea became a source of new wisdom that dwelt in the depths of the waters. In addition to Nereus, Pontus and Gaia sired other powerful offspring. Among them were Thaumas, associated with the wonders of the sea, Phorcys and Ceto, who became the progenitors of many sea monsters, and Eurybia, the goddess of maritime power. Through his children, Pontus became the progenitor of an entire marine dynasty. His descendants inhabited the oceans, controlled the currents, and guarded the secrets of the boundless waters that had existed since the very beginning of the world. Through his children and grandchildren, Pontus became the progenitor of countless creatures that inhabited the seas. Among his descendants were the beautiful Nereids, mysterious sea spirits, and creatures feared even by heroes. The ancient Greeks believed that every part of the ocean had its own inhabitants and guardians. All of them, to some extent, descended from the primordial sea. Thus, Pontus became the source not only of the element of water, but also of all life that developed in its depths. His legacy extended far beyond the first generations of gods. When the Titans appeared in the world, Pontus was already one of the most ancient forces of the cosmos. He watched as the mighty Uranus ruled the heavens and as Cronus overthrew his father and seized power. But, unlike many of the primordial deities, Pontus did not intervene in the struggle for supremacy. The seas remained his realm. The waves continued to roll onto the shores, regardless of who sat upon the throne of the world. Pontus embodied the eternity of nature, which exists beyond the ambitions of the gods and the shifts in power. When the great Titanomachy erupted between the Titans and the Olympians, the entire cosmos shook. Lightning split the sky, mountains crumbled, and the earth trembled from the mighty blows. Even Pontus's seas were stirred by the aftermath of this war. Huge waves rose to the heavens, and sea creatures hid in the deepest abysses. But Pontus himself remained unchanged. He was older than the combatants in this battle, and knew that all dominion is temporary. When the war ended, the sea continued its eternal movement, just as it had for thousands of years before. After the Olympians' victory, the world was divided among the three brothers. Zeus received the sky, Hades received the underworld, and Poseidon received the seas. Since then, Poseidon has become the most famous sea god in Greek mythology. However, even he was not as ancient as Pontus. The primordial sea existed even before the birth of the Titans and the Olympians. Poseidon ruled the waves, but the waters themselves remained part of Pontus's legacy, an ancient force that arose with the formation of the world. The ancient Greeks knew that the sea held countless mysteries. Hidden in its depths were wondrous creatures, sunken treasures, and unknown realms that no mortal could reach. All of this was linked to Pontus's legacy. He personified that part of nature that remains unknown. Every abyss served as a reminder of his presence. Even experienced sailors treated the ocean with respect, for they knew that beneath the surface lay a power that had existed since the dawn of time and guarded the secrets of the cosmos itself. Unlike many gods, Pontus was not the hero of legendary adventures and did not interfere in the fates of humans. His greatness was manifested through the very nature of the sea. Calm waves, mighty currents, destructive storms, and boundless horizons. All of this was a reflection of his power. The ancient Greeks saw in Pontus a symbol of an element that could never be fully subdued. People could build ships and chart sea routes, but the sea always remained stronger than they were. That is why Pontus personified the primal power of nature, which exists independently of the desires of gods and mortals. Long before the emergence of great cities and mighty kingdoms, the sea fed the world. Its waters were home to countless creatures, and its shores became the birthplace of new cultures. The ancient Greeks saw in this a reflection of Pontus's power. Although he was rarely mentioned in legends about heroes, his presence was felt wherever the waves touched the shore. It was the sea that connected distant lands, opened new paths, and provided people with the means to live. Thus, Pontus became not only a symbol of might, but also a source of the world's ceaseless renewal. To those standing on the seashore, the sound of the waves seemed like the voice of Pontus himself. It resounded the same way thousands of years ago and continues to resound today. In this ceaseless movement of the waters, ancient poets saw the wisdom of an ancient deity. The waves came and receded, reminding us of nature's eternal rhythm. Pont did not need temples or palaces to demonstrate his power. The sea itself was his temple. Every storm and every peaceful dawn over the water became a manifestation of his unchanging presence in the world. To those standing on the seashore, the sound of the waves seemed like the voice of Pontus himself. It resounded the same way thousands of years ago and continues to resound today. In this ceaseless movement of the waters, ancient poets saw the wisdom of an ancient deity. The waves came and receded, reminding us of nature's eternal rhythm. Pontus did not need temples or palaces to demonstrate his power. The sea itself was his temple. Every storm and every peaceful dawn over the water became a manifestation of his unchanging presence in the world. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share your impressions of the video.